Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the stream, boys. I actually have some exciting news to share. I mean, not exactly exciting, but moderately exciting, I should say. Okay, so pop out chat. Here we go. And here we go. Okay, so I start actually sharing the screen, and there we go. Okay, so what I want to share with you guys is the current gearing situations. I'm trying to make a neutral gear, and I think I got the hang of it, except for, when it doesn't work. So I have this prefab, and this is supposed to read my input, but throttle input is working actually, but the RPMs are not working. However, by going to gear 1, it automatically goes. And it feels like this is the neutral gear, but I don't know why it keeps going to 944. This is without throttle input. And of course, when I do have actually input, it works like absolutely fine. But I don't know why I have that. So I would like to just, share with you the actual process that I'm that is actually involved on tackling this kind of thing. So I'm gonna make a really quick audio check. Sorry. And yes, I have a typo in my thumbnail actually. And the funny story about this is because I don't have Photoshop installed. And I asked ChatGPT to make me a quick image because I cannot make it myself, right? Okay, the audio looks good. The audio looks good. Okay. Okay, so everybody that is joining, hello, how are you? Hello, Raptor, how are you? Raptor, you would like this topic actually. I am trying to build actually, I'm almost done building this kind of I want to make a neutral gear, right? And I almost made it work. This is supposed to be the neutral gear actually. So gear 0 is neutral, -1 is obviously reverse. But when I go into first gear, it automatically starts and drives, right? And this is without throttle input. So when I do throttle input, it actually works normally, right? You see? And it is so smooth. It is insanely how smooth this is. I mean, the gearing itself. So I just gotta figure out a few things, and I would like to, share them with you. So here the calculation for the total power, which is this engine RPM translated into the wheels. So this is the power that goes into the wheels. This is equal to final drive times gear num. If the gear num is greater than 0, which means we are moving, I take the engine RPM, right? But I should also do this total RPM should take into consideration this, and I should do a and in here. Throttle input is greater than 0. So I think this should fix it. I don't know if it does, but that's why I'm here for. Or actually, that is why I decided to stream, because I was doing this thing off camera and I was quite enjoying it. So I thought, maybe it's a good idea to share with you. Okay, so I think we're in good track. I'm in gear 1. And now, now this is it. This is perfect. I just need to somehow connect it to the wheel RPMs so that these actually work. Because right now what we accidentally built is a hybrid. So it only helps the car to accelerate and then it's gone. Free roll. You gotta love game development sometimes. But I love how smooth this is, bro. This looks so smooth. Look at that. Okay, so we're in a very good track. And I think I just need to connect the engine RPM. And I need to connect the wheels. Right? But it's a little weird. Engine power should be way higher than the wheel power. This is why BHP and HP exist. Engine lose power when it's transferred to the wheels. You are actually right. Total power loses power when it's transferred to the wheels. So this is the calculation that we do to transfer it to the wheels. So this total power gets divided by 4 if it's four-wheel drive, and then it just, translated into the wheels. But the total power is the engine output power, which is quite high. I don't want to get into too much detail on the engine power. I just need now to figure out this wheel RPM. Actually, what do I need to figure out? I don't know, to be exact. Because I'm fairly sure that I need a if statement in here. And I'm really trying to, go move away from not wheel, but if statements. I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna make it bigger anyway. So here it is. I have total power, which takes this engine RPM. So all this does is it evaluates how much power the wheel has, not the wheel, but the engine has in a given time. Thus, using this evaluate as a, animation curve, right? So we have an animation curve that tells the car this is how much power you have at each given RPM, right? This all works fine. Now, the only thing that's left for us to do is to say if we are in gear, which means if we're gear 1, then it doesn't matter this throttle input, right? But also it does matter. Now, I don't know what exactly I mean by here. So that's why I need to somehow connect this wheel RPM in here directly. And I don't know how I'm going to do that, because this wheel RPM literally tells the engine how quick do I go. So if I take away this throttle input, right, this will work. So I just need to figure out the if statement, or the correct use of the if statement. Because right now, if I go 1, it still doesn't work. Okay, the problem is somewhere else. And the problem is somewhere in here, I suppose. So if throttle input, and instead of, well, I don't do any if statements in here, that's the problem. So throttle input, oh yeah, I do actually. So this throttle input is kind of weird now. Because what's happening, I should actually explain. What's going on in here is that this throttle input is working, but it is 0. So anything that is, times 0 is obviously 0, right? So it's 0 times whatever this is. So if this is 3000 RPMs times 0, then it's obviously 0. So I don't know what exactly I need to do here. And I don't know why I do this 10 in here. Wheel RPM. If the gear is less than that, I do 10. I'm going to try and remove this for now and see what's going on. And usually when I have big problems like this, I try to split them up. But this is an engine that we're talking about, so it's not that easy. Okay, so we're in gear 1 and everything is the same. So that if statement did literally nothing, right? We can still shift normally. We can just drive the car normally. Okay, so the problem is not in here, right? So if the problem is not in here, then I can take the throttle input in here. And so if I take this throttle input completely out of here, what's going to happen? I'm debugging as we go, so I don't, I tried not to fake it, you know. Okay, so now we got it working. Perfect. There we go. Now we got a neutral. There we go. Now we got a neutral gear. Okay, I'm actually happy. We got a neutral gear. I cannot, the only problem is I cannot now rev the engine on neutral, which you should be able to do. But if I do go into gear 1, I have gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, and it's connected, right? There we go. Oh yeah, this feels good. Okay, the only thing that's left for me to do. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I need to read. You did a very nice car controller. Thank you, Mr. Raptor. Thank you. We did it together actually. I didn't do it myself. I think I had a lot, not I think, but this one stream I had a lot of help from you. And I had some basic problems with lists and shit. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I think we're really doing some good job right now, right? So we have a neutral gear, nothing is happening. And as soon as I go into gear 1, I can just drive. That is perfect. You might notice that I'm not taking the min RPM, and that is because I do not want to complicate things further, because they are already very much complicated. And the last thing that I want to do is to calculate this wheel RPM. And I don't exactly know how I'm going to do that, because this engine RPM is supposed to take the throttle input somehow, right? But I don't see throttle input somewhere in here. So the throttle input should dictate how the engine RPM revs, right? But in here, all I do is I say throttle input is greater than 1. And I don't exactly know. I don't exactly know what I'm doing. So I think I need some help. Yeah, some people commented. Okay, so wheel RPM. What? Wheel right RPM plus wheel left RPM. What are you commenting, bro? Here's my update script. Oh, your update script. Okay. We are kind of looking for our the script that we are doing. Okay. Anyway, I think the problem in here is this total power, and this is my only problem for now, because I'm transferring power as a maximum right now. And what I mean by that is, if I press forward right now, the power is 100%, right? And if I have a controller right now, this power will not be, how do I say, variable. So I cannot have half throttle, right? And what I'm doing in here is I'm saying throttle input is greater than 0. What I can do, or what I should do actually, is take this away and have this evaluate the power. So we say engine input and all of this times throttle input. Now, again, I don't think this is going to work because it cannot be so simple. Okay. Just make stats for each wheel. Why? Oh, you mean for this? Okay. Hard gamer. Very good. Hard gamer. Very nice name, bro. Hard gamer. Oh my god. Okay, now you can see that I can vary the throttle input. Okay, now the only thing is that this has to be evaluated only when I use the throttle. And also the engine RPM has to be evaluated when I use the throttle, right? But how am I going to do that? I don't know. I think it varies. I think it varies with this wheel RPM. And that's all that matters, right? And I need to figure out this wheel RPM thing. What? I created this channel 10 years ago. What channel did you create, bro? Okay, so my first suggestion would be to use some faking to fake this wheel RPM, or use some other value instead of this, right? So what I would like, actually, what we can do is a very quick and easy, actually dirty patching suggestion. I mean hard gamer. Oh, the name hard gamer. Well, you made me laugh, so it's a good name. Keep it. Please do that. So what I want to do in here is I want to say if gear num is 0. So, or actually no, if gear num is less than 1, which means I cannot be driving, which means I'm either in neutral or in reverse. So if I am in less than that, what I want to do is this wheel RPM. What is this going to be though? Actually, this engine RPM can only go into the max engine RPM. So why don't I be smart about this and make the if statement right here? So I say gear num less than 1, then max RPM. Otherwise, try to do this, right? And this should, in fact, give me what I want, but will it do that? I don't think it will. Anyway, let's see. Okay, yeah, something is happening. Something is happening, but what is happening is this engine RPM, max engine RPM. This should be throttle input times max RPM. It should be variable, and it's not. It's hard-coded. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I have 0. I'm in neutral. Yes. Oh my god, I love it when it works. It kind of revs too quick now, huh? Okay. So, I don't think this is how engines work. It is kind of how it works, but you know. Yeah, it's really nice so far. It's really nice so far, huh? Okay, so we have a neutral gear. There we go. The neutral gear is working. It's working a little janky right now. I need to somehow fix it. Do I need to? I don't even know if I need to. But it works. We have gear 1. We have gear 2, obviously. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this feels good, huh? This feels very, very nice and smooth now. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually proud. I'm actually proud, huh? We have gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, and we just decide to go neutral. There we go. And we can rev our engine. I mean, this is... Actually, let's try and fix this. Not fix it, but you know. This is already working, so it's looking good. It is looking good. And I made it, obviously. I wrote this, and I'm actually proud. The only thing is that this is going too quick, right? So, Okay, I have a really sort of, how do I say, dirty suggestion to fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say time to delta time is equal to this, and this is going to be variable. So if throttle input, then this is quick. Otherwise, do engine smooth damp speed times 5. Oh, this is so bad, bro. But it might just work. You should not code like this, by the way. You should really not code like this. What's going on now? Load to a boolean. What do you mean? Load to a boolean. What? Why is this not complaining then? Times the delta time times if throttle input is greater than 0. Yeah, this is the problem. You have... Okay. I have a question, dude. Why you use update for calculation? Don't all of them about physics? I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Why do I use update? What do you mean, what do I use update? What else do I use? Fixed update. Fixed update, I don't like fixed update. Okay. So, now. Oh my god, I fixed this. I fixed it. Hell yeah. Oh my god, I'm such a genius, huh? Okay, so this only has to be 10. Yeah, this neutral now works like properly, huh? Yeah, we have neutral and it goes down really slowly, huh? Yeah. Yeah, now we can do anything we want, huh? So we rev this and we go back into first gear. It should only, like, the smooth damping should be a little slower. So where is the smooth damp? Engine smooth damp. What? It's already so high. Okay, what I wanted to do is go into gear 1, rev it, and then go into gear 2. But it goes so fast into... I guess we need a lot more power. But this is really good. Okay, I want to add one more thing, and I want to add, like, you know, I want to sort of simulate how you would upshift. And when I upshift, I want this to lose instantly some RPM, right? So I want to say, when I downshift, I want to say gear num, and I want to say engine RPM minus equal 1,000. Or let's say 1,500 RPM. And this is only when I upshift. Okay. I mean, there are physics calculation and you should use fixed update for realistic car physics. That's my opinion, by the way. I like your opinion. And I think you should give me your opinion. But that's a really good question, actually. Why do I do that? I have never looked at it this way. But this is engine, right? And anything engine related should be in update, right? It should be calculated each frame. And as far as the physics go, I do have actually physics that run in update. You are right. You are absolutely right. And I should not do that. But does it really matter? I don't think so. Anyway, what did I just do? What did I just change? Oh yeah, I changed the gearing thing. So now I go here, I set it to gear 1, and now we start driving. Whenever I set from gear 1 to gear 2, this should just bounce. Hell yeah, it does bounce. Look at that. Look at that. It should bounce a little bit more, huh? So, this is braking. This is gear settings. Let's do here a header, shifter settings, right? And let's define a pub float. Let's make it into a range of 100 to 2000 or 3000. And upshift RPM bounce, and this will be 550 RPM for now, right? And I am going to say tooltip, and the tooltip will be this will remove RPM from RPM instantly to make the shifting a little more realistic and nice to look at. There we go. And now I take this upshift bounce remove and I just put it where I want, here. There we go. Now each time we upshift, what the hell? What the hell? There's no argument given. Huh. Why is my IntelliSense not working today? There is no argument. Where? 27? What do you mean 27? 27 is here. Oh my god. That is a typo. Have fun, dude. Good evening. Good evening. You mean... Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hard Gamer. I love your name. Please never change it. Okay, now, whenever I upshift, this should bounce, right? And it does bounce. So I go into gear 1, start driving, and now I want to go into gear 2. Yes, it bounces. Right? And I can set this to bounce even more. That's really good so far, huh? But the only thing is that this smooth damping is somehow weird, huh? And I don't understand what's going on. What the hell? Okay, so smooth damping is somehow acting up on me, I would say. So, this smooth damping, where is it? Here. 0.9, that's wrong. This should be 6. And this should be at least 20. Let's do 9, why not? Okay, and the next thing is that I want to simulate the opposite when I downshift. So I want to say this exact line, but reversed. So I say this, and instead of minus, I just give it extra as they say in Germany, or as we say in Germany. Okay, so I think we're doing so good, right? We have a neutral shifter, which is acting really good so far. And we have a normal gearing system, right? So now when we upshift, it goes a little down, right? When we have shift. And when I downshift, it goes too high. It goes too high. Okay. And also, it needs more braking, right? So when the engine is maximum, right? And also I want to apply this brake torque a little sooner, right? I don't want it to go exactly into the maximum RPMs. I want to go a little lower. So engine RPM minus max RPM. And let's add some more. So let's add minus like 1000 RPM. Let's add some extra, right? And in here, I also say minus, actually, if this is greater than, let's say 500 in here, right? So we're just decreasing these values. So it breaks a little more when it's over the limit. I also need some UI in here, but I'm too lazy to do that. Okay, so when I go now over the max, it should not let me, and it should stop here. Okay, and it doesn't stop here somehow. It somehow forgets. It doesn't forget, but it's so slow somehow. I guess this can be 1000. I don't know. I don't know anymore, actually. This is the braking power. This should be like 20,000, actually. And I think the braking power is supposed to be relatively similar to the engine power. If not more. I don't know, actually. I haven't tested. Okay, so now I go over the speed limit. I mean the rev limiter. And it stays there. And when I downshift, it should go quicker down. And it does. But it should be even more quicker. Huh? Okay, this is acting really good so far. Huh? But it's somehow going to 10,000. Have I set 10,000 as a max? Oh, I have. I'm actually silly. Okay, yeah, this is really good so far. Huh? It's really braking when I hit the maximum. And it's allowing me to go quicker when I'm not hitting it. Okay, yeah. I think this is good. I think this is really good. Okay, one last thing I want to do is to set this. Set this somewhere up here in the middle. Like this, and copy this. Copy component, and then paste component. This stream is going to be shorter than usual because I think all of you are sleeping, and I think this is very late. But this is the only time I'm free during the day, I mean. Engine gear num should always start at 0. I am silly. Anyway, I think we're doing really good. Okay, so we have neutral. Actually, I don't know what I want to do. Okay, I'm on gear 1. Have you noticed what happened? Yeah, you're noticing what happened when I downshift. This goes up, but even if I'm on neutral, which should not happen. So this should say. Actually, let's do that right now before I forget. So whenever I do this, I first ask if gear num is greater than 1. And this should say the opposite. If gear num is less than 1. Right? No. This should not say that. This should say if gear num is greater than 1 as well. Right? I don't know, actually. Let's test it out. Dude, I'm programming like 10 hours a day. It's getting ridiculous at this point. Okay, now I am on neutral, and I upshift, nothing happens. I downshift, nothing happens. However, if I'm in gear 1 and I upshift, it goes down a little bit. That's perfect. I also wanted to mess with this smooth damping because I think this is going too quick. Oh yeah, I see the problem. The problem is not that. The problem is somewhere else. The problem is somewhere else. So I thought that this smooth damping is a problem because I don't see the downshifting really clearly, I should say. But the problem is that this calculation should somehow change, not just the gear RPM. So I don't know exactly what I should change to give this sort of gear changing effect. But I think even without it, I think this is looking so good. So we set it 1000 RPMs. Like this. And whenever we upshift, it's just really good. And satisfying. Okay, now. I do game. Aspect ratio. What do I set this to? What is it? 16 by 10? 1920 by 1080 is 16 by 9, I think, right? Right, 16 by 9. This is supposed to be the actual... If I maximize... Oh, I cannot full screen this, huh? Is there... no, there's no F11. Yeah, there's no way for me to test this. But what I'm trying to do is set some sort of a not virtual, but vertical thing. So if I do 9 here, I cannot. Because I have to do this. Okay, 9 by 16. And this should give me vertical. Yeah, it does give me vertical. Wow, this looks really weird. This looks weird. But I somehow want to make a game like this, right? The first game that you play, but in vertical mode, not in horizontal mode. Because I hate having my phone, you know, horizontally just to play a game. I think it can be done. I think it can be done, but I just need to somehow optimize it. Okay, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to start recording. Okay, so this is the state of our game so far. We have a neutral RPMs. This should I guess we should make this, you know, wiggle a little bit when we are in neutral, right? But anyway, we have a neutral gear, so gear 0 is neutral, and as soon as we go into gear 1, the car starts moving, and we can go normally like that. And also, when we downshift or upshift, the gear shifter, the RPMs will just bounce and create a really nice shifting effect. I suppose I should also change this car a little bit because it's getting really boring. Okay, so copy component, hide you, show you. I really like this. I don't know why I don't use it more. I think it has to do with the fact that it's using Ferrari wheels, even though it's a Porsche. Anyway, I have controller, I have paste components, and I think it should work straight away. It does work straight away. Hell yeah, it does work straight away. It doesn't look as good as the other car. I also need to fix the handbrake though. Okay, so what I have in here. Where is it? Where is it? I don't want nitrous. No nitrous, no. I don't want these. So I set this to 0, right? And I go and try and make a new video for shorts because a lot of people seem to enjoy those. So we have added a neutral gear into our game, so we can rev our car into neutral in gear 0, and as soon as we go into gear 1, we just start driving normally. And on top of that, we have a gearing system that has a punch on when we change the gear. So we change gear and it goes a little further down. I mean, a further to the left, I should say. And then when we upshift, it just bounces a little bit more. Okay. I'm really happy on what we're doing so far. So I would like to also make a automatic shifter somehow, right? And I would like to do that really quickly. I don't know if I can actually make it, but in update, I will create a new wheel RPM, no brake. Let's set this up here. Temp, this is start, this is update, this is calculate, upshift, downshift, GUI. Okay, so I'm going to do a region in here called shifter. And I'm going to do another region in here. Actually, this is just the end region. And I'm going to say void automatic shifter. This will take obviously no arguments. I don't remember a case when I use Unity and I use input parameters. It's so rare. But I want to say is I just want to vary when, you know, when do I want to vary it actually? I don't know. What do I want to ask in here? How do I want to build this? I don't know. I will say, first of all, if throttle input. Actually, I need to say first, if gear number is greater than 0, which means we are currently moving. So we are moving. And when we're moving, we want to say, what do we want to do? I don't know. We want to be able to stop, and we want to somehow set the gear num to 0 from here. And when we're in gear 0, which means we are neutral, we just wait for this throttle input to set it to 1, right? So now I want to say if gear num is 1 and throttle input is higher, so I want to say if throttle input. Actually, I don't care about throttle input. I just care about the gear nums. So I say if gear nums, so if gear RPMs are actually RPMs, I name it engine RPM, yes. Engine RPM is greater than max RPM minus 1000. And I'm not overflowing, so I say gears, actually no, I say gear num is less than gears dot count minus 1, then I just upshift. So I say gear num plus plus. I want to say the opposite for when I'm moving, I say if engine RPM is less than min RPM plus 2000. If you're wondering why I say 1000 and 2000, I don't want to redline it and then shift. I want to shift a little bit before, right? So I say if min RPM is, if engine RPM actually is less than min RPM plus 2000, that means, or actually, no, I first want to ask if gear num is greater than 0. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to say if greater than 0. Yes, I want to do that actually. And I want to say just gear num minus minus. And if I'm not moving, right? If I'm not moving, that means I'm gear 1. Gear 0 actually, sorry. I just want to say if here, if throttle input is greater than 0. And then I do gear num plus plus. Actually, I am being silly. I need to move vehicle. I need to fixed update. And I need to shifter. No, automatic shifter like this. There we go. I think this is supposed to work. If I don't, I have an error. How about that? Operator minus cannot be applied at 129. What am I doing at 129? What? Operator minus cannot be? Yes, it can. Max RPM is a float. And I'm removing 1000 from the float. Why? And the gear is gear count minus 1. What? What are you saying? Operator cannot be... Huh. The operator type method, group, and integer. What? What is gears? Yes, this is a... Oh, that's a problem. This is length, not count. Yeah, that's my bad. I thought that's a list, but it's an array. Okay, now we should stay on gear 0. And as soon as I press play, we are on gear 2. Oh, this is really not good. This is really not good, huh? This should have a timeout. It goes from gear 1 into gear 6 somehow. But why? Why is it going to gear 6? And now it's on gear 0. Even though I'm moving. What the hell? Who knew that automatic shifters are not that easy to program? So if I'm moving and engine RPM is greater than maximum RPM minus 1000 and gear num is not overflowing, then we increase 1. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. If gear num is greater, this should be actually a else if I'm not mistaken. This should have fixed my problems. I don't know if it will, but let's try it out. I have no errors, thank you. Okay, now gear 0, I try to play. What? Okay, now it's working. Now it's shifting. Yes, now it's shifting. But will it downshift? It does downshift, but it's like a little weird. The gear 1 and gear 2 is kind of freaky. But otherwise, it looks good for the most part. Right? Gear 3, we go a little quicker, gear 4. And now we slow down, we go back to gear 3. We don't go back? Oh, we do get, but we go back into gear 1. Yeah, there should be there should be a shifter, I mean a timeout in here somehow. So instead of gear plus plus, I do here upshift. Right? And instead of doing that, I do downshift, right? And I need to define a minimum sort of timeout in here somehow. So each time I say this, I need to say a flag. So let's do a flag, a boolean up shift not shift timeout is equal to false. And I set this to false, and I need to start a task somehow. But I think I'm complicating. There was an easier way to add a small timeout. Okay, let me try and see if, where was it? Hue, new window. Gemini. Add a small delay or timeout before we can use this method again. Because I think there was a method that I can just call. Yeah, this is just shit. How can people use it like this? Look at the amount of code that you create. I just want you to give me one line, because I know it exists. Let's see what you did. Downshift is shifting return. And what do you do with if statement? Yeah, you start a coroutine. Fuck you. There's an easier way. There's an easier way. So, what is the easier way? Actually, I think I can use async, right? And I can say, I can try and fake a wait function. But I cannot remember the syntax, so I have to use something. Okay, let me see Gemini again. Do a promise in here to simulate a timeout. And set the boolean to true after some milliseconds. Okay, and don't give me some shit answer. Implementing the timeout task delay. Yes, task delay is what I need. Await new task. Yeah, this is it. This is literally it. This is literally what I asked. And you start and do coroutines for a simple thing. This is why AI will not take off. It's because it's using some, I don't know what it's using actually. I don't know what it's using. So upshift, await, task delay 500, right? And await, task delay. And I say 500 milliseconds before each upshift, right? And then we set this back to true, right? So upshift is false, and then upshift is false again here. So I say you are false, and then you, what is this? I set this to false, and I say if this is false, if upshift timeout, if this is false, then I set this to true, and I return. Upshift timeout is true, and if upshift is true, then return, right? No, Actually, I do a simpler thing. I set this to true, but before I do that, I do a return, right? And then I set this to true. And then this task will set it to false, and there we go. Now we have a somehow a delay function. I hope this works actually. There is an error. What's up? Hello, Mr. Orlando. We are trying to add a small delay each time we upshift, because we're building something really good so far actually. So now I am on gear 0. I try to go into, no, there's no delay. Why is there no delay? What the hell? Upshift, upshift. Oh, this is downshift. This is downshift. Oh my god. 6 years of coding, by the way. 6 years. And this is the this is the rookie mistakes I make. 6 years. Okay. Not a big problem. Not a big problem. I still have, oh my god. Async, bro. Async. This is asynchronous. Okay. Okay, if this works, first try it, then I'm just... It doesn't work. Why would it work? Why the hell would it work? I tried to build something really good, and it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. Why? If this is true, then return. This sets it to true, and then you cannot use it until this becomes false. Okay, let me try and track whenever this is true. Print not yet available. This is false. And if this is true, then we return out of this and we set it immediately to true. And then we can trigger this only once. And then after this delay, let's set it to 5,000. Why not? I don't know if I'm doing this right. Actually, this is not what I wanted to pull up. Gemini, this is what I want to pull up. Yeah, await task delay 100. Am I doing await? I'm not. Yeah, I am doing await. Await task delay 5,000. I don't know why. Okay, I have a typo. Where? Where? Here. I have a typo. I have a typo. Don't you love it when you have a typo? It's almost my favorite thing. No, it's not. Okay, so I have... No, there's no delay. Of course there's no delay. Why? How can it be? How? I'm literally doing... Oh, I'm doing return before I'm doing that. But it's somehow not taking this seriously. Right? Yeah, it's still not taking it. There's a problem. There's a big problem, right? Upshift. Upshift. What the hell? If do that, then upshift. Why? Could it be this thing? Could it be that? I don't know. Let's try it out. Because I think you are what is failing. Okay, so upshift. Now, I do one upshift. And I cannot do one more. Yes, that was the problem. Oh my god. How can I be so stupid? So, upshift. Yes. Upshift. Now, we decrease this to 500. And there we go. Now we have a good shifter. I mean, a automatic gear shifter. So, I'm gear 1. I try to go into gear 2. Now I go to gear 2. But I don't know why I go into gear 2 actually. Gear 1. RPMs are good. I don't know why I go to gear 2 somehow. You see, when I try to start from gear 1, it immediately goes into gear 2, even though the RPM is not right. So if gear 1, this might be the problem. I should say if it's better than 0. Not better, but greater. So if it is greater than 0, then try to do that. So yeah, now it's starting at gear 1, but it's doing some weird shit. But at least I can drive with gear 1, gear 2. Yes, this is nice. Except for when it's not nice. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm actually happy. We can drive our car finally. We can finally drive our car. Okay. So I'm gonna do one more video. And here is our current progress with a working... Okay, let's start with gear 1. So here is the current progress with a working automatic gear shifter. And I think we're doing a really good job so far. It will very smoothly try and transition from gear 1s to upper gears, right? So it will try to go from gear 1, obviously up. And whenever it hits the red lining limiter, it will just try and upshift. The only thing is that I need to make it somehow stay on top of, you know, on here somehow. Because right now it's going so slow. Anyway, that's a topic for some other day. Okay, so I think I'm happy with what I have so far. And for today, I think I'm going to stop streaming. But yeah, this is really good progress so far, for me at least.